So hello, I'm Hector Rebollo. I'm going to tell you about my app. It's called the OnCall app. So when I started thinking about this project, I came out really soon to the idea that I really wanted to do about healthcare, because the healthcare system is something that I'm really passionate about. I think we all want it to be better. So I think I really wanted to find a way to help people that spend their time helping us. So I wanted to take that opportunity. So, and I really wanted to focus on the on-call shift. So that's kind of a 24-hour shift treating emergencies that doctors do. What's happening? Nothing? Okay. I have friends who work in the healthcare system, and they when they talk about the on-call shift, they say things like this, like tiredness, stressful, is like a pain point for them. So I really wanted to focus on that. And so let's now meet Daniel. So Daniel is a radiologist from Tenerife. He really thinks organization is the key to good work, and he really wants to improve the healthcare system. So when Daniel is on call, the process for each patient works like this. So first, with each patient, he gets a call from the doctor that's in the emergency room, the doctor that sees the patients first. So, and the doctor tells Daniel about some patient. So Daniel writes down the important information about the patient, and then he agrees to the test and examines the results, and in the end he makes a final diagnostic decision, and he makes a report. So this will be the same process for each patient. So while talking about this process with the doctors that I talked to, I interviewed 13 doctors, with most of them talked more than once. And when I asked them about the process, I asked them, okay, so how do you know the patients that you have left to see or are under your responsibility? And they all have different reactions to that question, but they all have the same answer, and that's notes on a piece of paper. So I was really surprised about that, and when asking, they said that they didn't really have a software that would really help with that. And I asked them, okay, so what happens if you lose the paper? And they, so I used this because a doctor actually said the word apocalypse. So they were like, okay, we'll hope for the best. We'll just try to remember patients and hope that someone call me if I don't come for one patient. So I thought that was something that I could try to make better. So this is an example of the notes that Daniel will take while he's on call. So he will take the information that's more important for him, to have kind of a to-do list of what to do with each patient, and have the relevant information to really remember the patient and what he has to do. So with all this information, I realized that doctors on call need a way to keep track of the patients that they have to attend, because they rely on paper notes that are really easy to lose. So now I'll go to the demo to explain better my findings. Okay, so this is what Daniel will see when he starts the app. So he hasn't started a shift yet, so let's do that. So he'll start a shift here. Okay, I want to start. Yes. So he doesn't have any patients yet, but he'll do that now. He'll add the first patient. So imagine that Daniel gets a call from another doctor to tell him about some patient that they need to treat or they need to attest about. So he'll ask the other doctor about the patient number. So he'll put it here. So the app is supposed to be connected to the local network of the hospital to get some information from their server for the clinical history. So he will see, okay, we're talking about Sophia. Yes. Okay. So let's go. So here's the patient page. Here at the top, we'll find the information that's coming from the clinical history. He cannot change that, since that's the demographic information that all doctors have on their notes. And below that, so we'll have the fields that Daniel thinks are important for him to always have in his to-do list, to really understand this patient and to really remember what he has to do. So he'll write here the information. And I even added a feature, so a lot of doctors that I talked to they told me that they usually save some patients, some cases, to review later, because maybe they think that's an interesting case, or maybe they want to follow up to see if the treatment was correct, or the diagnosis, or everything. So what he has to do is he just needs to press here, and it will be saved to the follow-up section that I show you in a couple of minutes. We have to save, okay. So here's the list view. So let's add more patients to just see a little bit. Okay, so here Daniel will see the name of the patient, then the patient number, and also the tag. So what you see here as ultrasound or MRI, that's what I call the tag. So each doctor can decide this part. This will be the field that the doctor feels is more important for him to really remember the patient and identify the patient. So they will choose which field to show in the list view to really get a sense of the patient very soon. So if he ends the process with a patient, he'll just press here. So it's still there, but if he goes to another page and comes back, it disappears. But don't be afraid, Amalia is here. So if he wants to review the patient again, it's there. And also, as you can see now, we have a little notification on Felicia. So this is about test results. So while talking to doctors, for example, I talked to a surgeon that was very worried about, because he felt that he lost a lot of time going to the computer to see if the test result was ready, because maybe he was waiting for a blood analysis to do a surgery. So he had to go to the computer to see if the test was ready. If it wasn't ready, he lost a lot of time for nothing, and in the emergency room, that time is important. So he really wanted something that would notify him when something like this was happening. So that's what I implemented here, so he can even see the report. Okay, so this is the main part of the app, but we also have some parts that I will show you very quickly. So we have the follow-up. This is where the other patients that he has saved to review are. Then we have history. So this is where, when you end a shift, the information about the shift and the patients will go here. We even have some statistics, because they told me that they already count the patients on their paper to have some information about it. And you can change the template. And you can change the tag, as I told you, to which one is more meaningful to him. So just very, very quickly, I promise, I have some next steps. So for me, I really wanted to add a communication between doctors feature, but I really felt that I didn't want to implement something that would discourage doctors to write on the clinical history of the patients. So I didn't want to implement that until I did more research about that. I really wanted an audio to text feature, swipe in some lists, silent notification for some patients. I think it was important. I think it's important to consult about privacy policy, because this information is very critical and very important. So there are probably a lot of laws that I have to look. And the most important part for me is that I would really like to see this implemented and to adjust the features depending on the real usage. To see what the doctors actually do with this app and really adjust my app to the real usage that they do. And that's it.